little thing here. Check, 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 check. All right. Check, 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 check. I guess it's working. I don't know. I only get 2 little bars in there. So how well that mic is working, I don't know. Anyway, it's February 12th of 2026. I'm going to do a little video here. How long I'm going to talk for, I don't know. I'm pretty riled up because I feel like I've been set up. Well, I've been feeling like I've been set up by MCFD, Ministry of Children and Family Development, for quite a long time, though, really, ever since I got my grandkids. So, whatever. I guess that's all part and parcel of being a grandparent these days, especially if you're poor. If you're a poor grandparent, well, you're easy pickings, eh? And of course, if you become a little older because you're a so-called
hot at the bottom
grandparent, I got it. Grandparent, the older grandparent, right? You become a little more vulnerable because you're quote unquote getting old, eh? And people like to use that against you, right? To one degree or another, because ultimately they want something. If they don't want your house, like for you to lose your house as an old person, to sell it, and so they can get their share of the house sale, right? Because they where they fall in that family hierarchy, right? I'm the eldest, I'm the firstborn, don't forget about me. I'm the firstborn daughter, right? But everybody gets something, right? And if it's not that, it's just the thrill of the chase, to rob you of your things so that they can feel empowered, because not only did they steal your shit, but they put you in check while they did it, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with shit right now.
Yeah.
What is that? Can I get a bit of salt, please? So I can't remember the title of this video. Devil something. What was it? Let's see. Huh?
Something.
I don't know. Pretty stressed out. Had the social worker come by today. I've been quiet. It's not that I've been quiet. What I've been doing is I've been working. That's pretty much all I've been doing, because I got the basement now, right? So devil out in full force. That's what it is. That's the title. Devil. I swear, honest to God, I swear I'm like, well, I'm sure there's worse that can happen, right? But in terms of malfeasance and being mischievous and being I don't know, there's other words I could say around that, but just being a sadistic person to harm and hurt people and to control them, right? You gotta be kind of on the seedy side of life.
Give him more egg, by the way.
Oh, that's good. And you got a bit of warm soup with that? Okay, good.
If you're wondering where the egg came from, it came from mine from earlier. I cut it in half.
Yeah, I noticed that frying pan. This is good. It's actually very good. Second day, soup. Oh, it's always better. Always. Oh, yeah. Really good. Yeah, it tastes really good, Andre. You'll like it. You're eating some, right? Huh? Are you eating some soup? It's really good. Huh? Yeah, it's really, really good. Just add a little salt to it. Maybe some peppers. Oh, and those chickpeas that I cooked up? They were from 2011.
It would be nice if there was some rice underneath it, maybe.
Well, there's a little bag of rice. Well, just make a small pot of rice. Don't use that cast iron one, though. It's too hot. I don't want you burning that cast iron.
It just gets burned, so I don't want to cook rice because I don't trust myself to make it.
Okay, well, then maybe tomorrow I'll make some rice. But what I'm saying about these chickpeas, I cooked them, and they didn't really get soft. But one in this soup, oh, they're perfect. They're so good. Chickpeas from 2011. They are so, so, so good. Mm-hmm. All I have to do is cook them 2 times. First cook them, and then cook them in with some soup. Mm-hmm. And they're like delicious. So anyway, what's the rest of the title? MCFD has their whip. Whip, people, whip. February 12th, 2026. Now, this social worker thing showed up in September, and it all started with, let me help you, give you money for to a respite so that, you can have a little bit of recuperation time, I guess you could say, right? I made the mistake of letting that woman come into my house because she was crying on. I had already did a video on it, how she was stuck behind a desk and didn't get to connect with her clients and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she calling social services MCFD on me, right? Because, it's a little cluttered up here, right? Because 3 years, my son throwing out shit, stuff came upstairs, whatever, couldn't take nothing down, couldn't do nothing downstairs, just whatever. I do that daily grind with Amari, keeping up with the house, cleaning up after Andre, cooking, whatever, cleaning, laundry, just the daily grind. And they've been, I don't know, I guess you could say, like my landlord would, building a case. Right? Because, after 6 months, I'm asking, well, 5 months, I asking, right? Like, why, what's your end game here? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Right? Because they tried to say fire exit. Well, I did what you wanted me to do, but apparently it's not enough. Now they want the fire department to come into the house to do. And of course, they're using Amari as the excuse, basically, right? Even though it's been like this pretty much since I moved in when it comes to the core. It's not illegal to own books. It's not illegal to own fabric. It's not illegal to own clothes. It's not illegal to own pots and pans and dishes and those appliances, and those kind of things, especially when you do food prep, like home canning your own food or whatever. You like to, you need a vacuum sealer, right? So you can vacuum seal your meat before you freeze it. That all takes up space, right? You know what I'm saying? Of course, you need pots and pans. I suppose for poor people, they're only supposed to have one pot. That's all they need is just one pot. And then when the shit hits the fan, they'll accuse you of not having enough pots if they want to use that as a tool to, put you in a corner and accuse you of something. So anyway, not to distract away from that, whatever that is. Okay, so what? I get flooded out of the basement completely, basically, in November, where my son moves out completely by December, but he didn't really leave until this first week of January. He paid for a half a month of December, but didn't leave until after the first week of January. In terms of, finally after that, I could go down there. But then I had eye surgery on the 12th, right, of January. So, and even then, 2 days later, I was downstairs underneath the stairs pulling out the crap that was down there that was put there by my son and his wife with a bunch of mice running around. So, for whatever it was worth, I did what I was supposed to do, and I've been slowly but surely starting to work down there. But now my rent has gone up. So my rent is, for the ones that know me, my rent has gone up. We knew that was going to happen, right? By $100, right? Because I told her, I know, Mrs. Gill, I know what you like, $100. I'm just wondering, once it gets past that 2% cap or whatever, because I've been paying more than the cap, the legal amount, in terms of, can you see what he's doing?
Well, it's a whole cap, okay?
Okay. You know what he's like, right? He won't move and get into trouble when one of us are there, but as soon as we're gone, he's gone. So Yeah. So now my rent is $23.50. So it's gone up $100. I pay that all by myself now, and the gas and the hydro and the cable, yada yada. I spent $800 on Andre's teeth, right? Just recently. I had to buy carpet. I've been buying carpet and buying tape to move stuff downstairs, right? And to organize the basement. I've had to pay people to help me to move things, including my son. I've paid, right? So it's not like I'm not. It's not like I'm not handling the business. I am. It's just these social workers from the Ministry of Children and Family Development and the so-called higher ups, the ones that originated from that book called 1984. Yeah, or was that 1884? Like I'm serious. What I'm going through is a form of slavery. And if people don't start waking up, well, actually, that's not true because people have been waking up to the shenanigans of so-called government workers when it comes to their authority and immunity to be sadistic and borderline tyrants when it comes to destroying lives so that they can basically traffic children through the system, multiple systems, that is, the court system, the foster care system, the actual social services, child protection part system, right? You can forget about elderly abuse because you're nothing more than a lowly freaking grandmother here. Grandmothers are not elderly. Grandmothers are people to prey upon, okay? And this is what this video is about. Because for everything that's been going on in my life for years, really, when you think about it, I think I've been handling it pretty damn good, okay? And I know the game because that loose screw that was out there on that rail where the broken steps are now and have been broken for a half a year, right, is still holding the freaking rail up, okay? And that's why social workers came to my house. Oh, I don't know how old Andre was, but 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, and around that time, I would think, over a loose screw in a rail. That was the excuse to come to the house and start with their blah, 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 blah. And whatever the fuck was going on in those days is basically the same stuff that's going on right now in terms of the core furniture. Like this table has been here ever since I moved in. This desk has been here ever since I moved in, and yada 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 yada. But all of a sudden, it's this huge problem because what? They're offering me services. What? I won't. Andre and I, at this point in our lives, do not want their quote unquote counselors from their quote unquote certified nonprofit organizations in partnership with the Ministry of Children and Family Development that are dealing with quote unquote high risk youth to manipulate and mold Andre to suit their agenda so that they can keep their ministry going and within that department, that portfolio, right? That funding, right? If you don't have the kids, you don't get the funding. When, Andre sits here at the house as he's being still stalked by those kids next door, which the social workers know about, but don't seem to do anything about those kids as they're like stalking the house and stalking Andre, sending him Snapchats with gang, 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 boys running around, supposedly being boys, running and chasing each other with sticks and all this stupid crap, where they're not even supposed to have no contact with Andre, right? And yada yada. So, like that's that. And then, they come to me and because they're turning every stone, right? Every stone. I don't even know if anybody's watching. Let's go take it to the page. What glasses? I don't like these glasses. Let's take it to the page So I've been busy. I've been holding down the fucking fort. I've been working really hard. Like, I bought some tables. I bought some tables. I had to wash them. I had to move them by myself. All the work by myself, basically here, right? And they came in today, this social worker today, telling me she's moving. So I supposedly get a new social worker. What? She was the good cop, and now I get the bad cop coming in with the higher ups sending in the fucking fire department because I have books in my house. I have this, I have that. I have everything that I have when I first fucking moved in. I reminded her that I've had 13 people. Me, have looked after 13 people in this house. Joan, Sierra, Tisha, Shimei, Andre, Amari. You can say Julian. You can say Austin. You can say Marina. And there's a couple. There's another. Ken was another one. And there's one more in there. All under my roof. And everybody treating me like trash. Like I'm some crack addict running a fucking crack shack, drinking my life away, sleeping with every bus on the freaking block. In terms of the man, you know how they say you go from man to man to man. It's like going from bus to bus. Yeah, that's how they treat me, man. Right? And I've been like humble about it. I've been biting my tongue. I've been putting up with it. But I asked them the last time they came in, like, what is your end game? I want to freaking know. Like, what do you plan on getting out of this? Because, I'm not Sierra. You can't just if you throw me out on the streets like you threw Sierra out in 2012 in the middle of fucking winter, disconnected her from her family, her support system, her money, her food, her clothes, her warmth, her shelter, her methadone, you're not going to get the same result from me. You're not. You're not. Well, like, what's your end fucking goal? Seriously. So, you know what? This is what I figure. Now, I'm going to try and hire a couple of guys. I'm going to try, but they're fickle. It's a hit and miss because, not only are they fickle, but people get busy, right? These people, these fucking MCFD social workers and whoever, they're not giving me time to let me put my life back together. They want their certified fucking workers to come in here with their muddy paws and start touching my shit and put it in storage. For what? What's it going to do in storage? Oh, we're not allowed to sell it. We're not allowed to look at the books. I just pulled out a whole bunch of books, big stack full, big, beautiful books. I said, Andre, we're going to sell these books. We're going to start taking pictures of them. And you're going to help me put it up on my Facebook. He goes, oh, I want to keep the books. I want to keep the books. And in my head, I can't keep the books. You're not allowed to have books anymore. Haven't you figured it out? It's 2026. Books are obsolete. The government doesn't want you to have books. Never mind, make a little bit of money, try and sell those books so that you can learn a skill in life. Oh no. That's not what they want. No. They got a totally different freaking mission. I've been in this house 15 years. These books didn't bother you until what? Now? Yeah, okay. I'm just using books as an example. This fabric, if you ever see in my background, like a pillow and blankets and all that crap, that's because of Amari. Okay, you know what? I said it before, I wash anywhere from 2 to 4 pillows a week, every week. Not to mention, oh my God, how many blankets and towels I wash because he leaks out from when he pees. It goes in between the legs, right? And it leaks, and his stream is strong. So it leaks out. So I'm constantly having to wash this shit. And I wash it up here in my kitchen sink. And then I hang dry it so it puts moisture into the air because it gets very hot and dry up here, right? And in the old days, I couldn't go up and down and use the laundry room because I was locked out of the fucking basement. And that's just the reality of it. So I deal with it. And what they don't, I did a video like welcome to the ghost because, when you do a whole 3 loads of laundry and there's sheets of this and towels of that, and you're hanging them and blankets, like, right, to cover up the couch and pillows. What? That's a crime? That's a crime? No. It puts moisture in the air. It saves on hydro, right? And it's something that I have to do that needs to be done. because of special needs. And what, you're going to punish me for that? Yeah, right. Is that you watching me, Andre? Andre,
Well,
do you have your phone on? Because there's only one person watching. Because YouTube's shadow banning this video. That's why.
that one person that's watching too.
Oh, it's me?
Okay.
No, no, because no, they don't show the live stream page. If I open it up in a different browser, it would be, but it doesn't matter. What are you boiling?
Water for something.
Pardon me?
Boiling some water fast.
So basically, MCFD, my government, has got the whip on my back, like the city of Surrey when they put me out in the yard to work me like a dog, to do the work of whatever it is, basically, until I drop. Yeah. Because they're not,
eating.
huh?
My finish.
Because, well, give them something to drink.
No.
What?
No.
Big bottle, right?
Yep.
Okay. They're not giving me enough time. I have to work on trying to get rid of the mice from the bedroom downstairs. I mean, from downstairs area.
Oh, we are the 2 rooms.
So now they're rushing me to put things downstairs because, right, they're building, I have to go now. They want to talk to my eye doctor now because, I'm supposedly useless, even though I hold down the fort at this point and have been. So that's not a big deal. They want to talk to the occupational therapist at the Child Development Center, even though they've already talked to, what do you call it? The pediatrician. Mm-hmm. They came back and said the pediatrician recommended that Mari be in school all day long, 5 days a week. And I'm like, no. That's not practical for Amari. I gave him the reasons why, right? And when she came today and says, well, now I want to talk. Now I want to talk to the occupational therapist, when she kept insisting that it was all about fire exits, basically, right? And they keep adding on more, right? Like with their fishing, you know how that goes, right? And that's why I called them on it last time they came by. Like, what's your end game here, right? You wanted to clear it out? I cleared it out. It's not any different than it hasn't been all these years. You can't use a gurney as an excuse to make a person liquidate their assets to the point where they have no assets. And then when they don't have any assets, come back and say they don't have enough shit to do the job. Okay? That's like my landlord taking all the fucking wood and everything out of the yard and then expecting me to fix her fucking fence when I have nothing to fix it with because she took the fucking wood. Like, come on, think about it, right? And then blame me for the fence as if. Yeah. And then what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, they're calling in the big guns, the fire department, to see if it's fire safety. Yeah, okay. And then I said, well, that's just getting a little extreme here now. It's not like you gave me any warning. Like, you do realize I just finally got back my basement over the last 3 fucking years of being locked out of it. And like, you're putting all this pressure on me to do something that's impossible to do. Oh, well, that's okay. We can have somebody come in and help you pack it up and put it in storage. I said, I don't need to put it in storage. I have a fucking basement, right? I just need to have a chance to sort it out. But before I can really sort it out and feel comfortable with it, I need to make sure that the mice aren't down there. Okay? And don't forget, I'm paying for the foam and the Barillo and all that stupid shit to do the outside of the fucking stucco. Like, what kind of crackhead does that shit? Oh, but that's not important. That has nothing to do with anything. Hell no. No, no, no. So, oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. And she goes, well, what you afraid of? Because I won't open up the playroom and I won't open up the bedroom, right? Because, I don't need things scattered around anymore and they're already scattered. And I already got a plan. I've been working on that. I'm the only one that's been doing the freaking work around here when it comes to shit, okay? And I just don't have 20 arms, right? And so, I can't make people do things for me. And even if I pay them, if they don't have the time or the inclination to do it, right? So I have to do it at my pace. And Andre's kind of out of capacity because Tisha took him to a birthday party. Oh, I don't know, 5 months ago or something like that.
Something in the summertime.
It was somewhere in the summertime. And he was in one of those jungle gym things. And he was bouncing around and he did a flip in the air. And he backflip. I don't know what he did, but he kind of like knocked out his shoulder or something. And it's still bothering him. So now I've got my son screaming at me that Andre can't even pick up a teeny weeny little box to help carry it downstairs. Like, what the fuck? Well, I back saying, get rid of everything, get rid of everything, get rid of everything because the fire department's coming and, and blah, 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 blah.
You want to tell him about how he yelled at me?
Well, whatever. It's okay.
For no reason?
Well, no, it's whatever. It's a game. It's a setup. It's always been a pissing contest with Marcane. I offered to pay my son. I said, listen, if I pay you to move what I want you to move on my terms, the way I want to set it up, because I know I already got it in my head, right? Okay? Because I, utilize it, right? And he started switching things around. Just whatever, expecting me, and then kind of told me that the only thing of value that I had was my fabric and nothing more and nothing less. Yeah, okay. And you're gonna help me with a bad attitude? No, it's okay. So I told him to forget it. I mean, whatever. He's got a sore arm. He's miserable. So that's not gonna be no help. No. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Ask that social worker, well, what do you think I do? Do I got to go get a lawyer or something the way you guys are acting? Oh, I can help you get one, she said. Well, doesn't that sound familiar?
How in turn is she going to help you get a lawyer?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this is how they treated your mom. Only your mom didn't know how to deal with it. Right? They started screwing around with your mom like this. Only, again, your mom didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, take Amari. My son's going to look after Amari with Marina, having a baby. Yeah, okay. Tisha got to take Amari. She can take Amari for a few days, but she don't want to look after Amari full time. She's moving. She's going to go to St. Vincent, or she's going to Edmonton. Won't be long before Tisha's far in the dust. Long gone. The two people that actually look after Amari, they don't want us looking after Amari. No, they don't. Because they don't appreciate what we go through to look after Amari. Instead, they're trying to, I don't want to say use me as an example, but being that I am a YouTuber and I have a channel and there is history, right, through experiences. I mean, what better person to put their thumb on or their foot boot? They call it the boot, right? Put the boot on the neck, than someone like me. Yeah. I'm not afraid to live life. So I figure like this.
Huh?
I figure like this. Now that the fire department is coming to my house, I got some questions for them. hmm In regards to the foundation and what I'd like to maybe do, because I'm exploring my options, what I can do with the basement while I have it. I've got 3 of them here right now. I talked.
They'll either listen to you or they won't.
Well, they'll answer the questions.
Well, they didn't answer mine when they came for the smoke.
Yeah, well, this is a different situation, right? So one is, you know, if I wanted to do part-time babysitting downstairs 1 or 2 times a week, just so that I don't know, I can't rent out a room. I have too much shit I have to sort out. And not only that, even if I got some of it gone, I still wouldn't feel safe with it being down there with strangers at this point. So by being evicted from the basement within 1 day, basically because of a city sewage pipe, yada yada, it's kind of put me in a bad spot, and they know it. And these social workers are taking it to the next level, right? And they're milking it for an agenda that they're not being honest about. And I've said it before in that, kind of that way, right? It's not all it cracks up to be.
No one's at James's house yet.
I don't care. That's okay. I will get up in the morning. I will start on my own. So yeah, that's basically what's going to happen. These social workers got me getting up early in the morning. Now, having to move things out of the playroom so I can make some space in there to move my clothes in there, because I'm going to turn that into a boutique so I can attempt to sell some of my clothes while my son is mocking me, accusing me of not owning $1,000 dress because for some reason he seems to think he knows what I own. And I'm saying, well, easy for you to say, throw out my shit when I got a dress that I could sell for $1,000. Like, give your head a shake. And it's the same thing with these social workers. Oh, well, you can just pack the dress up and put it in fucking storage and leave it there for 5 years. And then when you die, we'll just help the next caregiver or Mari to go in there and pillage it if we haven't pillaged it ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it all boils down to. You're not allowed to own clothes. You're not allowed to own books. And if you do, it's very sparse, right? Remember, you're going to be reduced down to renting a mattress with 3 other people living on it, paying the same amount that you pay that mattress, as if you were in the 18, 17, 15, 1600s in England, in the slums, right? Is that what Canada is coming to? Seems that way. All right. There is no such thing as elderly abuse. That's all out the way. That's all out obsolete, because technically what the Ministry of Children and Family Development is doing to me is elderly abuse if you want to take it there. But of course, that's not what they're going to say, because I'm the quote unquote adult. Yeah, right. I got a chance to weigh myself. I'm 94 pounds with my clothes on. Isn't that interesting? The last time I was that weight is when they took Andre. I was 105 pounds and I went down to 92 with my clothes on. Isn't that interesting? And I'm like 94 pounds right now with my clothes on. With the whip on my back. doing the work of 20 people in a very short period of time. And that's the setup, because it's impossible to meet the expectations of whatever those expectations that are going to be coming my way because of the shenanigans of being set up, right? Social worker. Oh, well, I can help you get a lawyer. Because I said, gee, I don't know, this is getting kind of funky. I think maybe I should be thinking about, a lawyer or something here. Like, I don't know, like, I'm getting kind of suspicious about all this shit because you kept insisting it was nothing about fire exit. Well, what about that loose screw? Did you forget about that loose screw? Like, come on, think about it, right? You don't care about those stairs no more. Hell no. You don't care about nothing. The only thing you care about, obviously, is hurting me to what my family, having us argue and pit one against the other. Yeah. There was something I was talking about. I forgot already. Can you go see what he's doing? He got quiet again. I know he's got his bottle. He's probably just sitting there doing nothing. Oh, you're there with him. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. So, yeah, I get up in the morning. All my 92 pounds. I told Andre, that's it. I'm gonna go into the playroom. I'm taking out the majority of the crafts. Anything crafts is homeschooling, not all of it. I won't be able to take it all out, but a good majority of it is going down. And then once that's done, it will be back to its core state, right? In terms of what's been there for 15 years, basically. And then I'm going to go into the bedroom and I'm going to take out my clothes that are there that I've so far have taken out of my room, because remember, I'm not allowed to own my clothes, right? My landlady already said my clothes were junk and garbage just to get rid of them. So anyway, I'm taking those junky clothes and I'm going to put them into the playroom, and hopefully I'll be able to sell at least some of them before I eventually just give them away. Okay? Because wherever I go, I won't be allowed to take them with me, because it's 1984 and that's the type of society that we live in. And that's why the Ministry of Children and Family Development can do whatever the hell it is that they want to fucking do and not be ever held to account. Ever. We learned that with Andre. Mm-hmm. And then after my clothes are out of the bedroom, right? Then I'm taking out all the fabric. Whether I have to do it by myself or whether I can hire somebody, we'll see. And then that will bring that room back to its original state, which is a bunk bed, Shimei's piano, dresser, a little, turntable with radio and all that, a desk, and children's books, and right. So that issue will be dealt with. Grab a few things from the hall. I reminded the social worker that my house is no bigger by square footage on the top floor than a small 2-bedroom freaking rancher with a little room that you can call a storage shed, like a storage area. Right? Oh, yeah. I also said to the social worker, where were you when Shimei was murdered? Like, seriously, you guys talk about how you want to help me, blah, 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 right? She said, not me. I said, I know, not you, but the agency that you quote the government, right? Where were you guys, right? When Shimei was murdered and I was in court and you showed up because Julian Johnson's sister, mother, and I guess Julian himself called social services on me, accused me of being a bad person because they wanted Amari. That was the whole point of killing Shimei, right? And when we sat there in the courthouse and I told that to the freaking social workers, what did they do? They just kept the file open for a month or whatever the hell it was, and they bailed ship, and they let the judge make the decision for me to have Amari in terms of the custody, right? Controlled the situation and putting the drug dealer, freaking murderous freaking father in check, right? But no, made it where I had to hand over Amari to people that were clearly just nothing more than on a freaking power trip, because as soon as they realized that he was disabled, they all dropped him like a hot freaking potato. Okay. And what did I get stuck with? $300 extra on my welfare check. Whereas if I would have been designated as a quote unquote foster caregiver through an order by the judge, like I am with Andre, with Amari's special needs, as if he was to go into foster care in the future, right? I'd get $4,000. Do you honestly think I'd be living in this house if I had $4 fucking grand? In a house that is whatever with the square footage of a small rancher? No. But that was the setup. That's why they abandoned me in the courts with a freaking drug dealer who murdered my daughter. And then use Amari every 2 years, right? Basically 3 years, whatever the hell it is, whatever the excuse is, whoever fucking phones, doesn't matter, right? To play their game. Play their game. Put people into check. Keep their portfolios open. Make it so they can get their bonuses, right? Fill in the gap for those charitable organizations that specialize in foster. We know about what happened with Andre. I told Andre, when you turn 19, if you want, go find yourself a lawyer and take to court for what they did to you. Do you honestly think Amari could do that for himself? Hell no. But he can fatten up somebody's pocket. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I remind him of that. And they say, oh, yeah, well, no, that's not true. Because we already had that meeting where, we already had that meeting where if something happened to you, you know, Amari would go to Marcane or Tisha. Evening. It's 10:50 p.m. here. It's 8:27 p.m. here on the Pacific coast of freaking the New Congo, aka Canada. Yeah. I've been working, Tammy. That's all I've been doing. I've been working with my eye hurting because of the surgery, but I've been doing it and I'm being treated like shit. Now I got a whip on my back. Yeah. Because they think I'm fucking hiding something. Yeah, I'm hiding bags. I'm hiding $40,000 worth of fucking fabric that I couldn't sew because I moved into a house that put me into a yard for 14 years. Yeah. And they expect me just to get rid of it. Yeah, okay. And they're not even giving me enough time to get it downstairs. No, they had to call in the big guns. Oh, yeah. So speaking of the big guns, when they come, I'm going to say, well, gee, now that you guys are here, let's talk shop, right? You know, I have this nonprofit. It's been registered to this address for 15 years, right? I've had the nonprofit since 2001, 2000, yada, yada. And, you know, now that I've got the basement, this is what I'm brainstorming in my head, what I can do, right? And to generate at least a little bit of money. So one idea is I'm setting up a sewing area right downstairs. Now I've got one up here, but I'm keeping this one because it's just the way it is. And the one downstairs, you know, I'm going to see if I can hire a couple of people to do simple do-rags or whatever, so that, you know, just flip it, and as well as promote the foundation and just whatever. And, you know, my son, oh, yeah, yeah, whatever. So, you know, if there's quote unquote, what's this code and that code, city code, whatever fucking code, I'll figure it out, you know. Like, whatever. Life is a joke. It's perilous to take your grandkids. Unless you're the perfect, what do you call that? Human. You got to be perfect in order to be able to kids without being a heat score to one degree or another. If the Ministry of Children and Family Development would have seriously, man, they dropped the ball. I said, Shimei was murdered. Are you sure about that? Don't you think she was just partying, celebrating 12 days before going to college and just got high and killed herself? That's a social worker talking to me at the courthouse. I said, no, Shimei was murdered. They dropped the ball. If they were so concerned about Amari, why didn't they stick around and call the father on his bullshit? Yeah. And then at some point there would have been a decision because the ministry was involved, because I know how it works, because I went through it with Andre, where the judge would have designated me as a quote unquote foster care parent being paid by the government at the rate of what the child qualifies for. And in Amari's case, in those days, it would have been over $3,000, which would have pushed me probably out of this house when I really needed to go, where I never had that opportunity because I'm trapped because of, housing market is too expensive. There's not that many rental units available anymore because of the influx of immigrants. And then, of course, you got the targeting, right? The racists within the community that are becoming the majority versus being the minority are targeting people such as myself and skin color and that kind of crap. Financial status in life or whatever. You know how it goes, right? She had no answer for that one. And then she said, well, I'll help you get a lawyer, because I said, well, gee, you guys are getting kind of like whatever, like me. I don't know if I need to get a lawyer or what here, right? The subject of lawyer came up. I'm almost wanting, I recorded it. Where is it? It's on. I almost want to upload it. Seriously, I so want to fucking upload it because it's just some really snaky shit. It brings me back to Sierra and how they were being really cagey with Sierra and how they screwed over my whole family's life. Like all of us screwed us over so hardcore. Kamari at the very bitter end with whatever, it was going to smooth things over. And as hard as we tried, it never, ever really did because they kept coming back, stirring up the pot. And now it's like, I don't know. Desperate times require desperate measures because a lot of these foster care parents out here, they're connected to, they have their own little society, like a nonprofit. So they get their little write-offs and all this other crap. And then they get the funding from the government. Then they get fucking paid. And because it's tax-free, they don't pay taxes on it. Right? It's business, big business. And that's that they're, I don't know. But no, not with me. They made sure I stayed poor. Yeah. They made sure I stayed real fucking poor. And now they got me. And when they sink me and completely destroy me, well, I don't know. I'll leave. Always comes down to that one way or another. They don't leave me much choice. Go to a homeless shelter. Who knows what will happen there? And then just take it from there and fight the good fight. It always goes back to fighting the good fight. Yeah. What else can you do? I told him I'm not Sierra. Ain't nobody gonna hook me up with fentanyl and all that crap. No. because they made it where I got to do things with not enough time, right? And they're insulting me. They're treating me like I'm 12 if I'm not a crackhead, a drunk, or a retard. Hmm. And they don't consider themselves to be abusive, and they sure in the hell don't consider themselves abusing the elderly. No. Amari very rarely ever gets sick. They can't go into his medical files in any kind of capacity to show a pattern of him being sick, like a sickly child. There's a difference between having a disability and having your body affected by that disability, like cerebral palsy does, compared to being sickly. Amari is not sickly. If anything, Amari is vigorous, robust, rambunctious, cocky, very, very, very extremely happy and go lucky, and is communicative. If he doesn't like you, he'll let you know. If he doesn't want you touching him, he'll let you know, right? But they don't appreciate any of that. Mm-mm. No. So anyway, I gotta work. So I will bring my camera with me, and I'll try and do a little bit of recording, but I don't, my eyes are still here healing, right? So whatever I got to do is really going to be hard on my eyes, more so because I'm basically having to do it by myself. And it's a losing battle, so I don't know. It's too much. The expectations are too high. They have an ulterior motive. That's why they're digging in for more this, more, right? First it's this, then it's that, then it's just this, it stays the same. And now it's add on this and then add on two more and then add on another thing. Like what's your agenda? Again, why? Why do you keep on adding more shit? Right? Well, now we want to talk to your eye doctor. Why? I had eye surgery. Like I'm doing, you can see, right? The dishes are done. The laundry is what? Drying. Right? I got pillows air drying. You have to leave them open in the air, and you have to move the what is that foam on the inside, right? You got to right so that the air can dry on the inside because it will feel dry on the outside, but the foam will be wet on the inside. So you're right. So you have to air dry it. That takes a few days to do that shit. What? I'm not allowed to have a pillow on my table, air drying, so that I can use it for my grandson as I wash two more pillows and air dry those pillows along with all the blankets. And I'm sorry I don't live in no big ass monster home and have a perfect fucking laundry room to do all this laundry in. You know what I'm saying? I don't get that privilege, right? No, no, I don't. Even when you try and do the right thing, it doesn't matter. In a backwards world where the devil is constantly out and about. Hmm. This is the devil's work. Yeah, all over again. So I think I'm going to leave it on that. Outside to say, you know, everybody's got an opinion like a butt, right? Oh, right? And no matter what you say or how you perceive things to be or what you think is right, yada yada yada. If the person in front of you doesn't agree because their minds are hardwired a different kind of way, and they see and do things for different reasons other than what you do, you know, it's not going to change. It's not going to change. If they don't value the book, whatever the book is. I got a million books. I can't just, oh, I guess I can grab one here. There we go. If they don't value the book, if they don't value the book and expect you just to throw it out because it's a waste of space, or they just want to control you and hurt you and yada 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 yada, no matter what you say or what you think, they'll never change their mind. Because in their mind, they think they're right. Is that even going the right way? No, it's this one. Hydroponics. I have everything I need to do hydroponics. But somebody moved into my house where I couldn't do it. Now I have a chance to do it, but the social workers don't want me to do it because they don't even want to give me time to sort out my life so that I can do it. Because the agenda is 1984, where they control people, and with the idea of you will own nothing and be happy, they are the first instrument to that agenda. And if they can do it to me, they're going to come and do it to you. And if not to you, somebody close to you, unless, of course, you're part of the problem and you're the one who thinks that the book should be thrown out because the book has no value. I'm just using the book as the example. Where I value the book, the one that wants you to throw it out doesn't value the book. Please turn that down. And no matter what you say to try and change their mind about that, they won't. And right now, in this day and age, that's kind of what it's coming down to. Because they want you on your computers or on your cell phones, Googling for a quick answer, or I guess the AI, right? With the, that talking Alexis or whatever. Instead of looking and reading in a book to get the information, they want to make books obsolete so that you're reliant on their technology to get that information, and you'll have to pay for it each and every time you want it. Where here you pay one time and it will last hundreds of years if you look after it. They don't want that. And that's why they try and destroy people like me that actually value books. I'm just using that as an example. The more they can take away my books, the more they'll be able to take away your books if you value books. Andre, turn that down. I'm nattering over it, please. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? If they're successful at destroying my life and making me give up my clothes, my dishes, my books, my records, my fabric, my furniture, my computers, whatever it is, if they're successful at making me get rid of my shit in 1984, even though it's 2026, just because they have a point to prove, then it won't be long before they do the same damn thing for you. Unless, of course, you are the one that instigates that because you think all books should be thrown out anyway. And that anybody that owns a book can only be a special kind of person that can own a book, not your average Joe, because the average Joe is either swinging from totem pole to totem pole, like as if they're Tarzan in the concrete jungle, or they're those bodies on those mattresses that you pay $600 for to share with somebody else who has a mattress right next to you, paying their $600, and the person they're sharing with paying their $600, so the landlords can get rich. I like to know where the fire department is on those situations. It sounds like it's more like a freaking running a common body house, for crying out loud. If you know anything about body houses, like common body houses, right? So yeah, where were they when Shimei was murdered? Because they sure weren't there for all it's worth right now. Mm-mm. So I'll try and do a video on my camcorder as I go from spot to spot. I'll see. Honestly, I just been working. That's all I've been doing. And this is the reward I get for it. Yeah. Yeah, Amari, don't get sick. He doesn't get injured. When he broke his tibia, had nothing to do with me. It had to do with the ankle bracelets that they provided. Had nothing to do with us. The ankle bracelets that they provided were technically inferior. But Amari moves around. You know, he does what he wants, basically. He's really quite active. You don't even know. Anyway, two-tiered system. Those that have and those that have not. The gap is just getting wider. Yeah. I'm going to end this live. I don't want to go around in circles. Mm-mm.